In that moment his surroundings went quiet. Countless numbers of eyes were on him. It's getting more and more exciting, Fang Yuan thought to himself with a laugh. Under the gazes of the masses, he walked across the river and reached the opposite bank. He could feel a layer of pressure on him. This pressure came from the spirit spring deep in the flower sea. The spirit spring produced primeval qi because the qi was too rich in here. It caused the pressure. But very quickly from the flowers below Fang Yuan's feet, little lights made their way up. Fang Yuan knew it very clearly. Every spot of light is a gu, known as the Hope Gu. One of the oldest legends talk about the Hope Gu. In the legend, when the world was just formed, it was a land of savage wilderness. Among the wild beasts that walked the earth, the first man appeared. He was known as Ren丨, eating raw meat and drinking blood, living a difficult life. In particular was a group of wild beasts called predicament. These wild beasts loved the taste of Ren丨and longed to eat him. Ren丨did not have a body as strong as mountain rock, nor did he have the sharp teeth and claws of a wild beast. How could he fight with the predicaments? His source of food was unstable and he had to hide all day. He was at the bottom of nature's food chain and could barely survive. At this moment, there were 3 gods that came up to him and said, "As long as you use your life to provide us, we will help you through this difficulty." Ren丨had nowhere to go, so he could only agree to these 3 gu. He first gave his youth away to the biggest gu among the 3. That Gotham granted him strength. With strength, Ren丨's life began to change. He started to have a stable source of food and was able to protect himself. He fought bravely and ruthlessly, defeating many predicaments. But soon he suffered and finally realized that strength was not everything. It needed to heal and be cultivated, not spent freely at his will. Not to mention when facing the entire group of predicaments, his strength alone was too small. Ren丨reflected over this lesson bitterly and decided to give his prime middle years to the most beautiful gu among the 3. And thus, the second gu gave him wisdom. With wisdom, Ren丨was able to learn how to think and reflect. He began to accumulate experience and found out that many times when he used wisdom, it was more effective than using strength. But good things do not last, and Ren丨was old, and would only grow older and older. This is because he gave away his youth and middle years to keep the strength and wisdom gu. Human, what else can you give us? You don't have anything else left to provide to us, the strength and wisdom gu said as they realized this. They left him. Without wisdom and strength, Ren丨was once surrounded by predicaments. He was old and could not run, his teeth had fallen out, and could not even chew wild fruits and plants. As he fell weakly onto the ground surrounded by predicaments, his heart was filled with desperation. It was at this time the fair gu said to him, "Human, take me up. I will help you escape predicament." Ren丨tearfully replied, "Gu, I don't have anything else left. See, the strength and wisdom gu have abandoned me. I only have my old age left. If I give you my old age, my life would immediately end. Even though I am surrounded by predicaments right now, but I will not die immediately. I wish to live a little longer, even if just a second more. So you should leave. I have nothing else to provide to you." But the gu said, "Among the 3 I have the smallest need. Human, if you just give me your heart, it will be enough. Then I will give you my heart," Ren丨said. "But gu, what can you give me in return? In this situation, even if the strength and wisdom gu turned to my side, it will change nothing. When compared to the strength gu, this gu looked frail and was just a tiny ball of light. When compared to the wisdom gu, this one was only able to give out a dim white light, not beautiful in any way. But when Ren丨gave it his heart, this gu suddenly gave out endless light. In this light, the predicaments screamed in horror and retreated suddenly. Ren丨was speechless, and from that day onwards whenever he faced predicament, he would give his heart to hope. At this moment, the hope gu converged into a stream of life and had already entered Fang Yuan's body. Fang Yuan suddenly felt the pressure lessen. He began to walk forward. With every step he took, one after another the hope gu would fly out from the sea of flowers and enter his body, joining the ball of light. But the person in charge opposite the riverbank frowned. This number of hope is lesser than expected. Many elders watching Fang Yuan in the dark thought this as they saw the sight. The clan had frowned as well. This was definitely not the sign of an A-grade talent. Fang Yuan counted in his heart. When he walked the 27th step he could hear a bang, and in between his two kidneys the ball of light reached its limit and suddenly exploded. This burst of energy only happened inside his body. Outsiders cannot see it. Only Fang Yuan alone could feel at that moment an earth-shaking reaction. Instantly the fine hairs on his body stood up, his pores shut tight, his mind stretched to a tense limit. Soon after, his mind went blank, his entire body becoming soft as if he fell into some clouds. The awakening ceremony was a success. This was the hope to immortality. The aperture was mysterious and unusual. Although it was located inside Fang Yuan's body, it was at the same time not sharing the same space with his internal organs. You could say that it was endlessly huge, yet at the same time infinitely small. Some call it the Purple Prefecture, some call it the Chinese pool. However, many know it as the primeval sea aperture. The entire body is spherical, and the surface of it is covered in flowing white light, like a thin layer of light coating. It was the layer of light from the Hope Gata previously exploded. This thin membrane of light supported the aperture so it would not collapse, and inside the aperture was naturally the primeval sea. Only rank 1 Ga masters can form this green coppery primeval essence, known as the green copper sea. Every drop of sea water was pure primeval essence, representing the condensation of Fang Yuan's essence, vitality, and soul. It was also the accumulation of his life potential over the past 15 years. This primeval essence is used by Ga masters to raise Gu. This also means that from now onwards, Fang Yuan has formally entered the root of a rank 1 Gu master. Since the aperture had opened, no more hope entered Fang Yuan's body. Fang Yuan gathered himself and felt that the pressure before him was as thick as a wall. He could no longer walk another step forward. Just like my previous life, he smiled indifferently at this result. You can't go any further? The academy elder shouted. Fang Yuan turned around and walked back, answering with his actions. At this moment, even the young teenagers started reacting. The crowd suddenly buzzed with chatter. What? Fang Yuan walked 27 steps. So he was just a C-grade talent. Unbelievable, only a C-grade for such a genius like him. Yue Fang looked out, watching with shock as Fang Yuan returned across the river. He could not dare to believe it. His own brother was only a C-grade. Damn, he was only a C-grade. The Gu Yu clan had clenched both his fists. The elders watching from the darkness had mixed reactions. Some were frowning, some lowering their head in discussion, some looking up with a sigh. Could the results be wrong? How can that be? This method is accurate beyond reasoning, not to add that we were watching the entire time. Even cheating is hard. But all his actions and intelligence previously, how do you explain those? Used with higher quality of primeval sea would indeed display characteristics that surpass the ordinary man, such as intelligence, perception, memory, strength, agility, and so on. On the other hand, these characteristics do not mean that the primeval talent is definitely high. Everything will still be determined by the results. Sigh, the bigger your hopes, the bigger the disappointment. The Gu Yu clan's generation now is no longer like the first generation. His socks were soaked with the icy cold waters from the river, the coldness piercing into his bones. Fang Yuan walked with the same emotionless face, his distance getting closer and closer towards the crowd. He could clearly see the academy elder's heavy expression and was aware of the stares thrown at him from over 100 youths. It was the same situation, making Fang Yuan unwillingly remember his previous life. During that time, he felt as if the sky had fallen. When he crossed the cold river, he lost his footing and fell, soaking his entire body in the water, feeling so lost. No one came forward to help him up. Those disappointed, cold expressions and gazes were like sharp knives, piercing into his very own heart. His mind was in chaos, his chest searing with pain. It was as if he had fallen from the clouds, down to the ground. The higher you stand, the harder you fall. But in this life, as the same scene replayed itself, Fang Yuan's heart was calm. He thought of the legend, when predicaments come, give your heart to hope. And today that hope is inside of him. Even though it was not big, but it was better than those people who had totally no primeval talent. If others feel disappointed, then let them be disappointed. What else can they do? What does other people's disappointments have to do with me? The most important thing is to carry hope inside my heart. 500 years of living had led him to understand that the interesting things that happen in a person's life happen during the process when one chases after his own dreams. There is no need to ask others around you to not be disappointed or make them like it. Walk on your own path. Let others be disappointed and unhappy however they please. Sigh. The academy elder let out a deep breath and shouted, "Next, Gu Fang." Fang snapped out of his shock and ran out hurriedly. Unfortunately, he tripped over his own foot and fell, hitting his head with a groan and tumbled into the river. Instantly, the entire cave was filled with huge laughter. The Fang brothers, nothing special, the Gu Yu clan had scoffed, feeling a sort of annoyed boredom towards Fang Zhang. This is such a huge embarrassment. Fang Zhang struggled and splashed in the water, but right at this moment, he suddenly felt a strong pull lifting him up. His head finally left the water surface and his body found balance again. It was actually his older brother Fang Yuan who had grasped his collar and pulled him up. "Big brother." He opened his mouth to say, but instead he started choking on water, ending up triggering a violent cough. Haha, the difficult older and younger brother of the Fang family. Someone laughed at the riverbank. The laughter grew louder, yet the academy elder did not come out and stop it. He was deeply frowning, disappointment filling his heart. Fang Zhang was completely at a loss on what to do, and then he heard his brother say to him, "Go on. The road to the future will be interesting." Fang Zhang could not help but open his mouth in surprise. Fang Yuan could clearly feel the calmness radiating from Fang Yuan. As his older brother spoke, the corners of his mouth were slightly raised, revealing a deep and thoughtful smile. He was obviously only a C-grade talent, yet how can big brother be so calm? Fang Yuan could not help but wonder, his heart full of doubt. Yet Fang Yuan did not say any more. He patted Fang Yuan on the back and turned and walked away. Fang Yuan wore a stupefied expression as he walked towards the flower seat. I never thought big brother would actually be so calm. If it was me, I'd. Fang Yuan dare not continue to imagine, but some memories keep flooding into his mind. Who is there? Fang Yuan's younger brother. As for the name being unimportant, why are you here? Did someone bully you? With my brother around, who dares to bully me? Fang Yuan, this is your new maid, Shen Kui. Fang Yuan, since you are used to the learn, let's continue using the old servant from before. Fang Yuan, although your brother is excellent, he is really too indifferent. In comparison, I like you more. Today is a waking ceremony. Young Master Fang Yuan will definitely become the focus of everyone. It's a great honor for me to serve the young master. I really hope to serve the young master for the rest of my life. Why am I so humble? Like a grain of sand in the abyss. All of this is caused by Fang Yuan. He is like a mountain, pressing me down so hard that I can never turn over. No. I also want to be noticed. I want to be cared for. I don't want to be ignored. I don't want this kind of life anymore. I want to change everything. When he finally snapped out of his reverie, he was already deep in the sea of flowers, standing in a distance that no one else had reached before him. 43 steps. Oh my god, a great talent. A grade? Really an A grade? It's been 3 years. An A-grade talented genius has finally appeared in the Gu Yu clan. Well, the Fang bloodline originated from a Sky bloodline. So we Kai family will adopt in this Gu Yu Fang son, Gu Yu Kai Lian immediately announced. Stop arguing. No one is more qualified to raise this child than the current clan leader. Whoever has any objections is to go against me, Gu Yu Bo. The Gu Yu clan head had gone crazy and swept his fiery red gaze over the disappointed and discouraged looks.